Wow. Okay. Please welcome from Oppenheimer, composer Ludwig Göransson. Come on out. Oh my God. Thank you. Grammy Award winner too, may I add.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Seriously, Oppenheimer, one of the best scores of the year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think going back, like, you know, I think when we first talked, you mentioned like Christopher Nolan had envisioned the violin as the instrument, or the key instrument for this score. Talk about that and what went through your head when Christopher says, we're going to use the violin, or this is what I envisioned for Oppenheimer.
Well, I thought it was a great idea because my wife, Serena, she's a very accomplished violinist.
She's here. Can we give her a shout out, Serena?
And so it was great. We got to be able to work together and sit down and experiment. And I think I asked Chris, like, why the violin? And he mentioned that, you know, depending on the performance of the violin, if you hold down a note, you can go from the most somber, beautiful, romantic vibrato, and within a split second to something horrific or frenetic, just depending on how you vibrato with your hand, with your left hand, and you can go between those feelings, kind of like exactly like Oppenheimer is doing. So that's why he was gravitating to the violin.
Did you have to read the script in his office? Because I've heard like a few of the people had to like sit in his office and go through reading the script with him.
Yeah, you go there and they close the doors and you are just there with the script right in front of you, and it's a very magical feeling. I love it. It's so nice to be there in person. It makes it an event, you know.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Six Note Motif that we hear throughout the score and coming out with that.
Yeah, so Oppenheimer's theme is just like, is that a six-note melody? And Serena and I, we had been working together, recording like violin siren notes and just making all these kind of noises and for weeks. And we were both exhausted and tired. And I was like, okay, let's just go home. We have to go home to the kids. They're about to go to bed. But then an idea got to my head with this very, very, very simple melody and a bass line under it. And Serena came into the room and she was like, I asked her, can you record this immediately? And she started playing it with no vibrato, just very, very intimate, fragile, vulnerable feeling. And immediately I was like, this is very special. And I could really feel Oppenheimer in that theme, and the way it was performed. So I sent that to Chris, and he called me like 10 minutes later, and he was like, "This is it. This is something special here."
Yeah. What was his reaction to that?
Well, he's always kind of very, very subtle. He's like, "Yeah, I listened to that melody. It was pretty good." But I like that. I like that kind of tone. I mean, we're you know, I knew that he was excited when he said that.
You know I love Kitty. Emily Blunt is phenomenal in this, and I love her theme. Talk about introducing the piano for her and why you chose that.
Well, you know, Kitty's kind of the only person that keeps Oppenheimer grounded, and so I wanted her sound world to feel completely different from Oppenheimer's. That's why her theme is played on the piano, and there are these chords, piano chords that have long pauses in between them. And when I wrote that theme, it was for the scene when she testifies in the end. So you have these chords and then pauses in between because it keeps you on the edge of your seat. You know, is she gonna say? I remember the first time I saw that scene, I was like, I really thought she was gonna, you know, F it up for him. And then, but it was just her performance. I mean, oh my God, it's so genius. And beautiful, and there's so many nuances to it. So the chords are just there to kind of give her pause for the performance. And then when she starts really laying it out there, her melody comes out in a beautiful cello. And then as further we go into the story, Oppenheimer's theme joins the cello melody, her melody, and it goes into a waltz. And it's almost like they're dancing together there and then.
I think there's something over 2.5 hours of music, of score in the film, which is a lot, and it's incredible. How did you know when to have moments of silence? Like, you don't need score.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours and 43 minutes of music in the film. And what's so great about working with Chris is, I remember when I read the screenplay, there's sound elements in the screenplay, like the footsteps, the foot stomps that you hear in the film, you know, and also the 15 seconds of silence after the Trinity test. So I feel like when Chris is writing, he already hears things, and he hears sound design, and he has it all in his head when he's writing the film.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, last question. You have a Grammy and an Oscar. Yes, he does. Would you ever want to do Broadway at all? I'm just asking because I'm a huge musical fan, and, you know, what are your thoughts?
I mean, what should we do?
Oh my gosh, an original Ludwig. Maybe Chris would want to do something, or no?
Well, it's funny because I think Chris Nolan said this, he often gets the question, like, there's so much music in your film, would you ever want to make a musical? And he was like, well, my movies are kind of already like musicals. But I mean, I'm just very grateful to be working with my incredible collaborators, and if someone wants to go on a Broadway adventure, I'll be there for the ride.
There you go. Ludwig, I'll see you back for the panel conversation. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
And up next, a clip from Barbie. Thank you, Ludwig.